Speaking of which, Elon Musk's president is hardly doing better. Joe Biden was elected on a platform of reviving America. Do you remember his words? America is back, he said. More than 1 year later, we know what he meant. America is back to school shootings. America is back to gun terror. America is back to betraying allies. And all of this is happening under Joe Biden. Let's start with gun terror. This weekend, 13 mass shootings were reported. 13. Put together, they claimed more than 12 lives and injured 70 others. Where did the attacks happen? A graduation party, at a nightclub, and at a popular entertainment district. Places where people expect to be safe, but not in the US. In the land of freedom, a madman with a gun is always round the corner. And we're not blaming Joe Biden for the madmen. We're blaming him for the guns. Let me show you some numbers. In 2019, the US reported 154 mass shootings. 2020, 161 mass shootings. This year, 246. And remember, we're still in the month of June. So that's 157 days, 246 mass shootings. How does Joe Biden explain this? In 2020 and 2019, Donald Trump was the US president. How did a gun-advocating Republican preside over fewer mass shootings than Joe Biden? The gun laws were the same. The gun lobby was the same. So why is Joe Biden failing? The president should ask himself this question because the headlines are getting worse every day. Let me show you the latest one. 2-year-old boy accidentally shoots and kills father. A 2-year-old boy, how did he get a gun? Because his parents left a loaded firearm lying around. And that's not all. Both parents were out on parole. Their charges? Child neglect and drug abuse. How did this couple manage to buy a gun? I know Biden has been talking about strengthening background checks, but this incident makes us wonder, are there any background checks to strengthen in the first place? Because right now it seems like a free-for-all. Anybody can go in, buy a gun and leave it lying around. Surely the system has to change. And Joe Biden must lead that change. Remember, he campaigned on bipartisanship. He claimed to have friends across the aisle, but now he claims to be helpless. Well, you can't have it both ways. The same applies to his foreign policy. Biden said America was back to diplomacy. Wrong again. Even his neighbors are dumping him. This week, the US is hosting a regional summit, the Summit of Americas, the Summit of the Americas, they call it. This event includes countries of the OAS, that's the Organization of American States. OAS includes 34 nations from North and South America, sort of like their SARC. And historically, it's been neglected because America did not care for cooperation. They were much stronger than all other members, so they never bothered to reach out. The CIA plotted coups wherever they wanted. They assassinated presidents. They destabilized parliaments. It was sort of like America's personal backyard. Joe Biden says he wants to change that, and this is the perfect opportunity for him. The US is hosting this summit for the first time since 1994, but it's already a flop. Because the Mexican president has declined the invite. He sent his foreign minister instead. Now, this is a big blow to the US. Mexico is the second largest economy in Latin America, not to mention America's neighbor. But their president is skipping the summit, and he's not alone. The leaders of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador are also not going. So what explains this boycott? Joe Biden's guest list. He has not invited 3 countries to the summit: Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. The White House says these 3 countries are not bona fide democracies. Well, it's true. But that did not stop Joe Biden from easing sanctions on Venezuelan oil. He has renewed a sanctions waiver for Chevron. He's also permitting Italian companies to ship Venezuelan oil to Europe. So the democracy argument is a tough one, especially when Biden is trying to woo the likes of Saudi Arabia. But guess who does not insist on democracy? China. Beijing has been chipping away at Washington's dominance in Latin America, and the result is this: China is their largest trading partner, not the US. It's China. Biden has a small window to correct this, but without Mexico on board, his chances look slim. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.